Hello, it's Act 5, Scene 7. Now, I like to do some silly voices. These are going to be terrible impersonations of different famous people, some of them not so famous. So, for the role of Macbeth, that'll be in the voice of cartoon character Eric Cartman from South Park. Young Seward is going to be in the voice of Kermit the Frog, a Muppet. Macduff, it's going to be a terrible impersonation of George W. Bush playing the part of Macduff. Now, my impression of George W. Bush is really more of like Jon Stewart, comedian Jon Stewart's impression of George W. Bush. So it's sort of like Jon Stewart doing George Bush. Well, me doing Jon Stewart doing George Bush. So it's like rip-off central. Seward. Seward, military leader Seward. It's going to be in the voice of a character called Strong Bad from an old like early 2000s cartoon website called Homestar Runner. You're not going to recognize it at all, but it's going to be a silly voice. Malcolm will be in the voice of Dr. Phil. If you don't know who that is, he's got a TV show. He gives people like really silly advice like, hey, if you don't get real about getting fat, you're going to get real fat. All right, little gems like that. He makes millions of dollars off of these nuggets. And then Ross is going to be in the voice of Barack Obama. I do a terrible Barack Obama impersonation, and I feel like Ross is going to nail this. Okay? If there's any other characters, I'll just make up some terrible voice at that time, and we'll suffer through this together. If you don't want to watch me do these voices, I totally understand. I have to entertain myself at some point because I've been teaching this play for 67 years. All right, 67 years. Hey, quiet down. I have been alive for 67 years. I look amazing for my age. Oh, I just got roasted by my. How old are you? 9? My 9-year-old daughter. That's good stuff. Here we go. Final scene. Here we go. Macbeth. Act 5, Scene 7. Macbeth. Oh, it's Eric Cartman.
They have tied me to a stake. I cannot fly, but bear-like I must fight the course. What's he that was not born of woman? Such a one I am to fear. Oh, no.
And then young Seward. Oh, this is Kermit the Frog. He enters. He's going to fight Macbeth. And this isn't going to go well for young Seward. So if you're a Kermit the Frog fan, sorry.
What is thy name?
Thou'lt be afraid to hear it.
No, thou cost thyself a hotter name than any is in hell.
My name's Macbeth.
The devil himself could not pronounce a title more hateful to mine ear.
No more fearful.
Thou liest, abhorred tyrant! With my sword I'll prove the lie thou speak'st! Oh, piggy!
He doesn't really say piggy. He's just adding some stuff. So they're fighting. He's like,
it's not easy being green.
All right, so they fight. Kermit's singing a song. Young Seward is dead, and he gets all bummed out. He's like,
oh, my guts are spilling all over the place. Hi-ho, this is Kermit the Frog. I'm dead.
Okay, Macbeth in the voice of Eric Cartman.
That was born of woman, but swords I smile at, weapons laugh to scorn. Brandished by man, that's of woman born.
All right, so Macbeth's talking smack because he just killed young Seward, and Macduff's walking around the castle looking for Macbeth. Remember, Macduff's family got killed by Macbeth's hired murderers, and so he wants sweet revenge. Macduff, as played by George W. Bush. And I understand that when you play the part of George W. Bush, you have to look like someone is constantly shining a flashlight in your face. Okay?
That way the noise is.
My daughter's laughing.
Tyrant, show thy face. If thou be slain, and with no stroke of mine, my wife and children ghosts will haunt me still. I cannot strike at wretched kerns, whose arms are hired to bear their slaves. Either thou, Macbeth, or else my sword with an unbattered edge I sheathe again undeeded. There thou shouldst be, by this great clatter, One of the greatest notes seems brooded. Let me find him, Fortune, and more, I beg not.
All right. He leaves. So he's just, again, on his way to find Macbeth. Alarms are going off. Doo, 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 doo. Malcolm and Seward are now on stage. Seward is played by this character you don't even know called Strong Bad. Again, you can look him up on Homestar Runner. And then we have Malcolm in the voice of Dr. Phil. All right. Seward is, what did I say this was? Oh, Strong Bad. Yeah, good.
This way, my lord. The castle's gently rendered. The tyrant's people on both sides do fight. I almost said flight. How silly. The noble thanes do bravely in the war. The almost itself professes yours, and little is to do.
Malcolm, who is going to be Dr. Phil. We have met him with foes that strike beside us.
Enter, sir, the castle.
So they enter the castle. Oh, that was part of that was Act 7. We also got to do Act 5, Scene 7. This will be Scene 8. Here we go, Scene 8. Let's just get right into it. Enter Macbeth again.
Why should I play the Roman fool and die on my own sword? Whilst I see live, the gashes do better upon him.
Enter Macduff. And this is, it's Billy Bush.
Turn, hellhound, turn. Of all men else, I have avoided thee. But get thee back. My soul's too much charged with blood of thine already, 'cause I ripped your whole family a new one, that's right. I smashed them with my swords.
That's not in the play. I just added that. Macduff.
I have no words. My voice is my sword. Thou bloodier villain than terms can give thee out.
They fight. Clink, 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 clink. That's their swords.
Okay. Thou losest labor. As easy mayst thou the intrenchant air with thy keen sword impress as make me bleed. Let fall thy blade on vulnerable crests. I bear a charmed life, which must not yield to one of woman born. Despair thy charm, and let the angel who thou still hast served tell thee, Macduff, that's right, I'm speaking in the third person now. That's what I do. Was from his mother's womb untimely ripped.
Okay, so now Macduff is saying he was not born naturally. His mother had like a C-section. He was ripped from his mother's womb, thus ruining yet another one of the witch's prophecies. So Macbeth misunderstood it. The forest has come to Dunsinane Castle. Birnhamwood has come to Dunsinane Castle. We find out Macduff was not delivered naturally. He was ripped from his mother's womb. So turns out no man born of woman shall harm Macbeth. Doesn't matter because Macduff wasn't from his mother's womb born. Oh my gosh. Oh. So the weak witches speak in double truths. And now Macbeth is going to realize the error of his ways, and he's going to say,
Accursed be that tongue that tells me so, for it hath clout by better part of man. And be these juggling fiends no more believe, that palter with us in double sense, that keep the word of promise to our ear, and break it to our hope. I'll not fight with thee.
Now Macduff says,
Then yield thee, coward, and live to be the show and the gaze of the time. We'll have thee as our rare monsters are, painted on a pole and underwrit, here may you see the tyrant.
So Macduff's basically saying to him, we're going to put you on display for all of society as a tyrant. And Macbeth's obviously not going to go for that. And he gets really upset. He says,
I will not yield to kiss the ground before young Malcolm's feet and to be baited with the rattler's curse, though Burnham would be come to Dunsinane. And now opposed, being of woman born, yet I will try the last. Before my body I throw my warlike shield. Lay on, Macduff, and damned be him that first cries, hold enough! That's right, I said damn him! Damn him!
oh my gosh, Macbeth with the potty mouth. All right. So they are in a fight because Macbeth does not want to be held up as a terrible example of a terrible leader. So they fight, they leave off stage. Now, off stage, we have Malcolm and Seward and these other guys. And we're going to get news to Seward about his son being killed. Malcolm, again, in the voice of Dr. Phil. Sorry, I'm not doing a very good Dr. Phil today. I would like the friends we missed were safe arrived. Seward is strong, bad.
Some must go off, and yet by these I see, so great a day as this is cheaply bought.
Malcolm. Macduff is missing, and your noble son. And Ross, Obama, here we go. Hi, President Obama. Number 44. Your son, my lord, has paid a soldier's debt. He only lived but till he was a man. The which no sooner had his prowess confirmed in the unshrinking station where he fought, but like a man he died. So Ross tells him that his son died, and Seward says,
Then he is dead?
"Aye, and brought off the field. Your cause of sorrow must be measured by his worth, for then it hath no end."
Had he his hurts before?
"Aye, on the front." So we find out. Seward wants to know, were his hurts before? Had he his hurts before? That line means, were his wounds on his chest? He wants to know if his wounds were on his chest as opposed to on his back. Why? Because it's all about manliness, okay? If you're going to go and fight, your wounds got to be on the front. If your wounds are on your back, you are running away like a coward. So listen to Seward's response here when he finds out his son has his wounds on his chest. Just,
Why then, God soldier be he. Had I as many sons as I have heirs, I would not wish them to a fair death. And so his knell is knolled.
and Malcolm says, he's worth more sorrow, and that'll spend for him. It's a terrible Dr. Phil.
He's worth no more. They say he parted well and paid his score, and so God be with him. Here comes newer comfort.
All right, Swords is like, sweet, my son's dead, but he died like a man. Fine, I'm happy with that. Terrible, terrible father. Terrible father. Did I mention he's terrible? He's terrible. Macduff, George W. Bush comes in. I love this. So Macduff is actually carrying Macbeth's head, which we've gone full circle, just like the Lion King. Okay, it's a circle of life, or in this case, death, because Macbeth had a traitor, MacDonald's head, earlier in the play, and now Macduff has a traitor, Macbeth's head. It's all about chopping off heads and people being traitors. Macduff says,
Hail, king, for so thou art! Behold where stands the usurper's cursed head! The time is free, I see thee compassed with thy kingdom's pearl, that speak my salutation in their minds, whose voices I desire aloud with mine. Hail, King of Scotland!
all right. And everybody else says,
Hail, King of Scotland! Hail, King of Scotland!
Hail, King of Scotland!
all right, that was all. Everybody's like pumped because Malcolm is now the new King of Scotland. And Malcolm's going to finish off our play for us. Go for it, Dr. Phil. Fail. We shall not spend a large expense of time before we reckon with your several loves and make us even with you. My thanes and kinsmen henceforth be earls, the first that ever Scotland in such an honored name. So they're to honor the English who helped them out. They're going to change the title of Thane to Earl. Okay, that's what noblemen, some noblemen of the equivalent title in England are called. So the Thanes become Earls. What's more to do, which would be planted newly with the time, is calling home our exiled friends abroad that fled the snares of watchful tyranny. So we're going to bring home our exiled friends, like his brother Donalbain, who is chilling in Ireland. Producing forth the cruel ministers of this dead butcher, he's talking about Macbeth, and his fiend-like queen, talking about his wife, who as 'tis thought by self and violent hands took off her life. Ooh, we find out Lady Macbeth killed herself. Not so confident anymore, are you, you evil weotch? Dang. All right. This and what needful else that calls upon us. By the grace of grace, we will perform, measure, time, and place. I just made a rhyme. So thanks to all at once, and each one whom we invite to see us crowned at Scone. I'm going to Scone. They're going to put a fatty crown on my head. It's going to be like one of those delicious Cinnabons, which I love to eat. They are delicious. Okay. Now, Dr. Phil and, Malcolm is going to be going to Scone. That's where they crown their kings. So Malcolm will become king as Duncan originally wanted for him. Macbeth is dead. Lady Macbeth is dead. The witch's prophecies proved to be totally bogus. And we've learned a valuable lesson. Never trust witches. Also, don't be overconfident. Be loyal to people. Because if you're not, bad things happen. All right. Peace out.